Hello and welcome to the Inside Stylist podcast, where we talk all about interiors with interviews with interior stylists, writers and the big names in interiors, from brands and PRs to artists and designers. I also catch up with industry experts in the know and get them to share all their knowledge and advice. There's so much to talk about. I'm your host, Emma Morton-Turner, an interior stylist and a writer with a ton of experience. I set up InsideStylist.com so I could share all that interiors love with you. So don't forget to head on over to the website for not only the show notes from today's episode, but for links to interior stylists, writers and assistants' profiles, and a ton of inspiration. But for now, enjoy the show. Hello and welcome to another solo episode. This one's probably going to be quite short. I've kind of written some notes down and I don't think it's going to be a lot of talking. Of course, that is quite often famous last words. But we're going to be talking all about the best way to approach an interior stylist if you want to come and work on a shoot or get experience on a magazine. Now, the reason this has come about is because I get approached a lot. I've spoken to other stylists who also get approached a lot. And there's a few things that I think would be really useful for up-and-coming stylists to know about before they approach someone. I've spoken to a few friends who are stylists about what they like and don't like when being approached. I think the same people who do, like bigger stylists who get approached a lot, have the same sort of, I want to say gripes, but little nuances, little annoying things that people do that I thought, if I shared this, people may understand things from our point of view and what will make us prick our ears up and go, oh, this person sounds fabulous. I want them on my shoot. So I'm going to get straight into it. Actually, before I get straight into it, I have to share with you, apart from being asked all the time to come and assist on a shoot, the other thing I get asked all the time is what my house is like. And right now, Sunday morning, I am recording this podcast in my living room. I've closed the blinds. I've got, basically, when you record, you want as many soft surfaces as possible. So I always try and record in my living room where I can sit on a wing-back chair. I've got curtains and cushions and carpet, rugs, lots of soft furnishings. But at the moment, I've also got two rather large pieces of furniture, like my daughter's bunk bed and a big Billy bookcase that I've put on eBay because we've taken them out of her room ready to decorate. I've got tons of props for a shoot I'm doing this week. And I've got a sewing machine and I've got 3 dining chairs in here that are just random chairs I've had from shoots that I need to get rid of and put on eBay. So when people ask me what my house looks like, I want to say it's really stylish, but right now it just looks like a prop house. Just looks like a prop house. But the sun is shining, so I'm going to smile, and hopefully once I've got this recorded, I can get everything organised and I can actually see the floor again. I'll take a picture and share with you quite how crazy my living room's looking in case you're interested. Anyway, let's get back to it. So the first thing that I want to talk about is finding, or let's say, number 1, find the right stylist. Now, when I first did work experience, I worked on a number of different titles and I experienced how different stylists work in different areas, and I found I really enjoyed working on general interest because the atmosphere on that magazine was just really ticked all the boxes, so it was brilliant. But then you might go somewhere like Homes and Gardens, where it was very heavily focused on decorating with fabrics and wallpapers, big name brands for furniture, whereas Family Circle was smaller, more high street, more crafting. So what are you interested in? Do you want to do more craft? Do you want to do big world of interiors sorts of shoots? Find the stylists that are doing those jobs. Find the people who you admire, who you enjoy what they do, and find the right person. Because if you just do a blanket email out to everybody, you might be good to get experience doing lots of different things so you know what kind of styling you really want to do. But just find the right person to approach in the first place. Now, to find them, you can find them in magazines. You look down the crease of a magazine, you'll find the name of the photographer, the stylist and the assistant. So it's very easy to find them. That is probably the easiest way of finding stylists because obviously commercial shoots we're very rarely credited. So it's hard to know who did that shoot. But let's say, for example, you are looking in Living, etc. and you see a shoot that is an advert by String Shelving. You want to see who did that because you think they are fabulous. You want to work like that. You can contact either the brand or probably not the brand, probably better to contact the PR and ask them who did this shoot. They will be able to tell you as well. I think some of this might be really obvious, but I'm just going to put it out there for anyone who doesn't know this. Number 2 is make contact with them. So once you know who it is, I would put money on every stylist having their own portfolio online. They might be on Inside Stylist with their portfolio there. In fact, Inside Stylist has all the contacts for, all the members have a place to share their contacts, whether it's their phone, their email, their Instagram, their portfolio website. So you can find it there. This isn't an advert for Inside Stylist, by the way. I'm just trying to share how many places you can find people. But I think the most easy place right now, let's face it, is Instagram. You can find people on Instagram really easily. The thing about Instagram is it breaks down barriers and you can have a conversation. So you start by following them, commenting on their posts. If they ask a question on Instagram, reply, interact with them, but don't just spam them, really engage properly. And then start direct messaging them or personal messaging them. Make a relationship, because the next number 3, is email. If you've already made a connection with someone on Instagram, you can then email them and they will know who you are. You might have to say, oh, hi, my name's Susie, but you might know me as Pink Rooms 101 on Instagram. You might have to, people, it's funny, people introduce themselves as their Instagram name now. It's really interesting. But just email them, because you can introduce yourself again, you can share your experience. And the number one thing I always think people should do is share who they have worked with. If you've worked with another stylist, let someone know. If you are emailing, tell them who it is, because it's a very small, very close-knit, very friendly community. I've said it before, interiors is super friendly. We know each other. And if I know someone and they turn around and this person says, I would really like to come and work with you. I've just finished shooting with Sarah Bird and Pippa Jameson and Diana Civil, and I've worked on commercial shoots and I've worked on editorial shoots. I'd really like to come and work with you. I can now contact 3 people and say, oh, this person's just contacted me. How was she? Was she good? And they will give me an honest answer. Now, if you're good and you're worth your weight, they will tell me. If you're not good, they will tell me. And that is gold dust, because you want to be able to get a recommendation from someone in the business who's good. Now, it doesn't matter if you haven't got experience and you don't have anyone yet, but I'm just saying drop names, because that, if I need to hire someone and Pippa tells me someone's good, I will hire that person on her recommendation every day of the week. If you don't have that recommendation, it's a harder decision to make. So once you've emailed, number 4 is give them a call. A follow-up call is a really good thing to do if you don't hear back, but don't become a stalker. And remember, not everybody, in fact, hardly anybody, sits at their desk all day, every day. I think I might have 1.5, 2 at the most days at my desk. I am out propping, I'm on shoots, I'm at launches, I'm doing podcast interviews. I do not get back to all my emails immediately. I hate it. I try really hard. I did a whole podcast on email overload because I find it very difficult to stay on top. But if I haven't got back to you after a couple of days, it doesn't mean I'm not going to. I might just not have got back to it. The call is to make a conversation. If you speak to someone, it's very hard to ignore the phone. It's very easy to ignore an email. And you can just judge someone's moment and say, look, I really would love to work with you. And I just dropped you an email. I just thought maybe you'd want to have a chat. You could let me know if there's anything you've got going on. If you want any help with anything, you can offer what help you can give, whether you can help do research, you can help make things. There's always spray painting to do or anything like that. Always good to make a conversation. And also your personality. I think I've said this 100 times. Your personality comes over on a phone call so much better than on a email. Let's face it, I've got a blog and a podcast. If you listen to this, the chances are you probably don't read the blog, but if you do read the blog, you've got me in your ears because you know what I sound like. It's the same when you have a phone call to get in to be an assistant. Get that personality across. The other thing to remember when you give them a call is that not everybody has an assistant on every shoot. I would say I probably have assistants on about 60% of my shoots. There are much smaller budgets now, so not everybody has the budget to have an assistant. Some people might hire someone out of their own pocket just to make their prep quicker and easier. I have hired an intern, lovely Claire Parkin, who I think I should introduce in a podcast. I might interview her on the next time she pops around. Mainly for accountability. If she's sitting next to me all day, we are going to get blog posts done. If I'm at home on my own, I can get distracted by the washing and the dog and there's chocolate cake over there. So that's another way people do hire assistants, to make sure they get their work done and get it done quicker. It's actually a real It's just something I've discovered this year, having extra help and people with you, working with you. It's a game changer, absolute game changer. I'm going to get so many people asking to come and work with me now, aren't I? Anyway, I've got my Claire. I'm all right for the minute. Number 5, get recommendations. So, asking your stylist that you've worked for to recommend you, which is kind of obvious, but a lot of people don't do that. If you are looking to get your name out there, I do it all the time. I will share people. If I see someone on my Facebook group for the closed members of Inside Stylists, if I see someone say, I'm looking for a stylist and is anyone free? And then someone who's assisted me pops up and says, oh, I'm free. I will message that person and say, I used that assistant. She was fab. Every time. Because actually, I think I've had people do it for me as well. I've had people say, oh my God, she was brilliant. Get her to do your flowers. Get her to do this. Get her to do that. She was great. It's that recommendation. It's just brilliant. Some stylists do have regular assistants. I had someone assist me, I think it was last year or maybe even the year before now. And she came up to me at the Christmas party and said, do you not have just one assistant? And I was like, no, I don't. Mainly because I have lots of different shoots and I might want someone who's really good at craft on one type of shoot and I want someone who's really good at flowers on another. So I don't have to hire a florist separately, which we might not have a budget for. I know which assistants are fabulous with flowers. But also, the type of jobs I do are so different. I have different needs, but the main reason is because I get so many people asking me to come and assist. I kind of want to share the love. So I do try and get as many people to come and help me as possible. But I know that there are a lot of stylists who have favourite assistants and they come time and time again. And that creates such a lovely teamwork, I do, personally, going off tangent, I do tend to use the same assistants for the same jobs because then you've got that teamwork and that feels so good. It's like going to work in an office almost. You've got the same people you see all the time. So that's really good. So anyway, give them a call and be patient. They might not get back to you straight away, but do give them a call. Number 6 is also get recommendations, but from other assistants. If you have friends that are assistants, or even if you don't, if you see assistants out there, again, you can find them down the in the gutter of the magazines. People are always listed and you can find them on Instagram. And if you're an assistant, you are going to be sharing what you're doing. You're going to be sharing interior stuff. So you are going to be able to find that person. If they've got a name that's quite a regular name, you will still be able to find them. Ask those assistants for recommendations on who they should get in touch with. So, for example, there are a number of magazine stylists who do massive decorating jobs and need 3 assistants. Go and find those assistants and say, I would love to come and work with there. Was that stylist open to having new people? Would you mind putting my name forward? Or can I say you recommended I speak to her? Get recommendations from everywhere you can. Number 7, work for free. Just for a bit. So this is something else I've talked about quite a lot. The only way to get into interior styling is to do work experience. Now, it's a really good way to get your foot in the door. But once you've done 1 or 2 jobs, say you get hired to assist on a shoot and you do a 3-day shoot and you don't get paid, you get your travel and your food or something, you can show them how good you are and then they will hire you again. Now, I have a rule of thumb that if I have you come and work on a shoot for me for free, I will know whether you're worth coming back to be paid or not. I won't ask someone to work for free twice. I think that is fair. That is how you get in. I don't believe people should work for free, but I also believe that I need you to show me, if you're a new assistant, I need you to show me that you are serious, that you are going to work your socks off and that you are worth coming back and paying £200 a day. I know it's very controversial, people working for free, but I believe that this is how this industry works and I will ask you for once, but after that I will pay you. I hope people do similar. I do know that there are some people who have asked people to work for free again and again and again. To that I would say there's a very short word you can use and that is no. No, know your worth. You can work for free once, show you're brilliant, and if they don't want to hire you and pay you, then you move on to the next person, in my personal opinion. Okay, that's all the shoulds. I've got a few shouldn'ts. When you send an email, keep it short. I get over 100 emails a day that I have to look at in detail. I can't just delete them. I do not want to read a massive long email. I do not want to read a full CV. I want 1 page, 1 short email with bullet points telling me what it is you have done, what experience you have. Experience will trump qualifications every time, so just leave the CV behind. Number 2, I'm really sorry. It's not about you. It's about what you can do for the shoot, for the stylist, for the experience. Do not start your email with, I want to be a stylist. I want to work with you. I've been studying interior design. I won't work. It's the fastest way for me to literally ignore your email. And that may sound a bit harsh, but I don't want to say I don't really care what you want to do. I do care what you want to do. I want to help people. That's why I set up Inside Stylists. But if you want to come and work for me, I want to know what you can do to help me. Why should I hire you? Why should I choose you over 10 other people who've emailed me this week? So what I've said already, tell me what you can help with. Tell me what stylist you've worked with. Tell me why I should give you a try and what you can bring to the table, essentially. Sorry, that's really harsh. I can hear myself saying it, but that is the number one reason I won't read. Sorry. And just don't go on and on. I just haven't got the patience. I've got ADHD. You are not going to get a reply if you send me a massive long email. Okay, last one. Be patient. Don't expect a speedy reply. We're away from our emails. We never work 9 to 5, and it's going to be a little bit of time before we get back. I think you will get more assisting work. You will get more help up the ladder if you use these kind of top tips. So, really hope I haven't pissed anyone off. If you sent me an email and I've ignored you, just resend it. Send another one really short. See if you get a better response. Anyway, remember all interior stylists started out as an assistant, and everyone in the industry is lovely. Interiors people are lovely. So it's scary. I know that. You put yourself out there. It's almost like you're putting yourself out there for rejection. It's the law of statistics. You email 10 stylists, one will definitely say yes at some point. So if you have any feedback, if you want to tell me, Emma, you are a biatch, that's absolutely fine. If you have had really good success doing something that I haven't mentioned here, let me know. Otherwise, I'm just going to say goodbye for now and good luck to everybody. I want to see you on my shoot. Take care. Thanks for listening to the Inside Stylist podcast. You can find all the details from today's episode over in the show notes on insidestylist.com. If you enjoyed the show, I'd love it if you would head on over to iTunes and rate and review it. It's the best way to help other people find the show, and I'd really appreciate it. Until next time, bye for now.